What's going on, guys? It's GoodLuckStef. We are here at Always Flavored, as always, doing another great podcast. Today I have someone that's very influential here in Fredericksburg. It's all about music and energy. Welcome, Norman.
Yes, thank you so much. So glad to be here, man.
Yeah, and we actually talked a while ago, I think like 3 or 4 months ago, about we met here about being on the podcast.
Yep.
Since I've been, following you and everything, you've been pretty busy.
Yes, every weekend going somewhere.
Yeah, and that's something about, I've been talking a lot about life and stuff, about really living your life and, the value of doing so, because so many people just let their lives pass them by, and the value of really living in the moment. And that's something that I even struggle to do, is to truly just live in the moment, because of life and everything that goes on. How do you do that when you're with people? You seem like your interactions with people are very genuine. You spend a lot of time with a wide group of people.
True. Yeah. Well, I find everyone interesting. But it also, especially more so, people who are, you could see in them the need for love, the need for connection. Because I sing at senior homes and I work with the homeless. And those two, and I go to the prison too, or used to, a whole nother story, I'll tell you that. But because they are in need, they have real things going on in their life. It's tough. Either it's just, so many people, ladies in the senior homes, because there's usually more women. But also, they lost their loved ones. So, I want to make that connection with people. So then you can always find something interesting in anyone you meet. You just got to hopefully open up in some kind of way and have a connection with someone. And that's what I like to do, either if it's here in town or out on the road somewhere,
Where does all the excitement and energy come from? Tell me a little bit about growing up and everything.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Woodbridge, just north of here, from Fredericksburg.
Okay, so you're local.
Whole life, Dale City even, and just been down here for 3.5 years. But I started off in Garfield High School. Started off, loving in the '80s right away. Got into music right away. Into I remember my brother. He's 4 years older than me, so he got the Kiss album, Kiss Alive 2. Where you open it, I was like, wow, what's this? So I was probably 11 or 12. Then the performance and music bug got me, just wanting to listen to albums, because that's what he did. Zeppelin and Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, and then he started getting into, he loved Kicks, had me kick. Anyways, music was always a part of my life growing up. But then, you know what? It was about 20 years ago. It was just right around when I married my wife, I also became a Christian. And then I started thinking in my mind, what does God want me to do? What things is he? Be more alert, Norman, of what you think God wants you to do. So, and then this thing, and it actually started out, was the first time I started playing at a prison. I played at the Coffeewood Correctional Center, but full on prison for almost 15 years, going once a month. First, with people at my church, but that gave me the courage. Then, wow, I'm going to this high secure prison, down. It's in, what town is it in? You do go down Route 3, and it's about an hour away. And so that just gave me the courage. Wow, let me reach out to these. I actually started a, what do you call it when you write people?
Like pen pal?
Pen pal. But it got to be 120 people. And I would do it once a month, and I was diligent, COVID hit, everything sort of went sour. I could tell stories about that for days. But then, about 10 years ago, that was about 15 years ago then or so, 10 years ago or so, the thing that changed my life in another way was I was walking into a Chipotle with my daughter, who was about 9 at the time. She said, Daddy, there's a homeless guy there. You got to do something. You got to give him money. And I said, oh, okay. And we start walking. And I knew I had two $20 in my pocket, two $20 bills. I thought, I'm not going to give this stranger $20, but I can't look bad in front of my daughter. But I walk up, and he goes, Norman. And I look, and I go, Andre, the guy who taught me how to play guitar.
That was the homeless guy?
Was the homeless guy. Wow. I was like, and then in 1 second, I go, Andre, all I got is $40, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Give me your number. Let's hook up. So then I go home, I start realizing, in 1 second, $20 was too much, and another second later, it was personalized. Yeah. This guy who affected my life gave me the gift. Because they wanted, again, a whole other story, 16, started a band. Norman sucks, kick him out. But Andre said, no, let's keep him. I'm going to teach him.
Interesting.
Give it him. So anyways, then 40 wasn't enough. So I thought, wow, that affected me so much. Then I started doing homeless stuff. I started going to the woods. And I thought, if that changed me, it could change other people too. So I started making videos of people who live in the woods. Tried to. If I could get their story on social media, it'll get people to contribute, give, kind of thing, raise awareness. But they didn't want to do videos with me right away because I was a stranger. I'm just, hey, my name's Norman. Can I do a video about your life? How'd you get homeless? Like, I don't know. I realized I had to hang out with them. And music, again, I went to the prison because of music, because I knew how to play. I played in the worship band. I learned Christian rap because the prison was, it was a little different scene there, you know what I mean? Let's do some Christian rap also. So, but it was the music that really gave me the push to do it, and then with the homeless, I'd bring my guitar. That was the icebreaker. Like, you go into a homeless camp, it could be dangerous, or it's definitely, who are you? What are you doing here? Anyways, I started hanging out there a lot. I did that 4 or 5 years. Got to know the people very well. And then also at the same time, I started singing. I was playing at a bar in Fredericksburg, and a guy came up and said, I'm an activity director for a senior home. He'd like to come by sometime. I said, wow, okay. And that's when I started learning all Sinatra, because I knew they didn't want to hear the stuff I played at the time. But again, music to make that connection at senior homes where they need love, they need attention, and music brings them back to that time period where they were still alive, kind of thing. So to me, I always just see God's work in music through me, or through music in me. Anyways.
No, that's really cool. I always ask people kind of,
By the way, we're supposed to start eating. I'm sorry, I started talking.
Well, yeah, I'm actually going to go into that here in a second, but I wanted to comment and say, we actually have a lot in common. I do a lot with the homeless, like just yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week sometime. There's this homeless guy in a wheelchair, and I don't really like giving money. I'd rather just buy them whatever they want, or, just go ahead and pre-do it so they don't really have an option. I know it's not going to fucked up, but, you're in a hurry. And, actually spent time with this person, and his name was Kenny. And sometimes you can have a really, influential impact on somebody, especially at a low moment like that. And when you can get to their level, and we've done homeless camps. We've visited homeless camps on our own. Me and Lacey have done that. We used to feed the homeless before Christmas. Every year we did a huge sock drive and had a whole bunch of businesses donate. We've done interviews with the homeless. And,
good for you. I didn't know that. See, look at that.
Yeah,
everything
that's why, we're very aligned, and I
right.
have a deep passion for that because, most people are 2-3 weeks away from homelessness, if their job were to shut down or stuff like that. And I think a lot of times we take for granted, some of the things that we have. But when you can influence somebody who has nothing, like this guy, Kenny, I talked to him about life. Instead of just buying them the food, just giving them the food and saying, all right, well, have a good day. We talked for 30 minutes on the side of the road, what I mean? And he told me about his life and his work and what he was doing, and he was very honest about his drug use and everything that got him on the street. He's almost 60 years old. Mm-hmm. So I gave him my phone number, and I was like, when you get your phone working, call me. And I was like, I'll take you out to eat. We'll go to a restaurant.
Make the connection.
And he's like, I need more people like you in my life. And just with you and your music, you don't understand how you could change somebody. One song for you, maybe somebody becomes a multi-millionaire. It's possible. Yeah. And you hear about that all the time. But to go into the sauce, because that's why Laura Jean here to do the hot ones. We're gonna go through the order of least to hot. Now, one thing good about Always Flavored is no matter where on the scale it is, it's always flavorful, and that's one thing that Rita specializes in, is making flavor. And what's cool is you're going to hear some of these hotter peppers, but the ability to actually taste the flavor and not just the heat is one thing that makes her unique. So the first one we're going to start with, which you can pull out right there, that one's the Rabita's Sweet Virginia Love Barbecue Sauce. This is the number 1 on the scale. It's an award-winning sauce, placing number 2 in the Scovia Awards for barbecue sauce, unique category. Adds a tangy and sweet explosion of flavor to any meat. Yep. Can be used to glaze, marinate, or condiment for burgers and hot dogs. The perfect balance between sweet and savory brings the taste of Virginia to your kitchen. And whenever I get my chicken nuggets, wherever they're from, I replace this with the barbecue sauce that they give me, just because it's really, really good. This is honestly my favorite one.
Well, I love that. I do love it. Right away, I'm like, wow. I'm going to put some more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going heavy. Yep, love it. By the way, I am not a hot person at all. I don't know how far I'll get, but was it? Anyway.
Well, it's funny. A lot of my guests...
That's not hot at all. That was great. Yeah.
A lot of my guests have said the same thing. They don't know how far they're going to get, but we've all made it to Signal 1. Now, some people take some, glasses of drinks with this, but, like, even this, it's not like your traditional, like want to murder your throat type hot sauce.
No.
It's all designed with flavor in mind. So let's talk a little bit about the community aspect. What drives you to want to spend so much time with the community when you have your own life and you have your family and different things going on?
Definitely a schedule you got to keep. Just very fortunate because I actually I have. My schedule is usually I fly out Thursday somewhere in the country to play some great show with Brett Michaels, rah! And it's so awesome, and usually come back on Sunday. And then, but that means I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at home, and then, like yesterday, it was just 3:30 in the afternoon. I said, I'm heading down to River Park, And it was just, I walk up, and I don't know if you saw my video yesterday, but this guy on a bike, and he's got a guitar strapped to the back. And I was right outside of Micah. I was looking for another homeless guy. Couldn't find him because I met him a couple days ago. Nick is his name, if anybody knows Nick. But the guy goes, man, your bike is so cool. He said, look at those gears. He was so into my bike. Anyways, it's a pretty nice bike. I had my guitar on. He had a guitar strapped. I said, man, you want to play somewhere? He goes, yeah, let's go to the park. I go to the park. And there's this other homeless guy there with another guitar.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So me and Silas and Frank, we just sort of jammed. So again, it was just, God put me there in my mind. You know what I mean? I had such a great connection with them. So it just, things come, if you keep your eyes open, I go out for 10 minutes and that happens. You know what I mean? It's like, people are like, you're so busy, you're somewhere. I was like, I'm just living life. I don't know. It's not like doing anything amazing. I'm just walking the streets waiting. No, it just happens. Living a natural life.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole concept is it's living. It's making experiences with people. One thing, as a business owner, and I'm sure you do too, you get so caught up with the day-to-day, you think you don't have time for things, or things get pushed on the back burner. Yeah. And, Lacey, my wife, always reminds me that, we're just in like this, like even like right now, like she would describe this as just like a blip, like in a moment of time, like, as big and long as life is, this is just like a microsecond together that we spent, and the relationships that we can have in such a short amount of time, where the impact we can make. I mean, you just saying, hey, you got a guitar, let's just all go down the river and jam, Right. It's just so communal in the sense that you guys have no idea who these people are, what they've been through, what their life is, right. What they were thinking that day, and I mean, in a tragic sense, maybe they were thinking about offing themselves that day or something like that, and because of that jam session, now they got hope again.
Right.
And, I think that's the cool thing about music. Now, so we also have another great thing in common. I work a lot with children, especially like with Children's Hospital, with filming, and some nonprofits and stuff like that. And one of the big nonprofits that we did was Only Make Believe. They're located in New York, and they also have a Washington office. And we did a big project with Children's Hospital. And what they do is they bring in volunteers who put on plays. They'll pre-record it live or live record it, so the kids that can't leave their rooms can watch it in their rooms.
Gotcha.
And then they also go to the rooms and do it.
All right.
But when we were doing that documentary, it's in part of the testimonials that we did was and it's true, is you witness these kids coming into the room.
Right.
And they're sick, their heads are shaved, they got tubes up their nose, they have to be assisted in, right? 10 minutes into a play where it's fully immersive, so there's costumes that the volunteers make, this is all from the community that's donated, so that each kid gets their own costume and cape and stuff.
Cool.
10 minutes in, you're not looking at sick kids anymore. You don't. It transforms them, and they have music and stuff like that, and it's just so crazy how something so simple can have such an impact, especially when it comes to like sickness or illness or addiction or all those other things.
Right. Amen.
So, talk to me a little bit about why you're traveling all over the world, and we'll get into Bret Michaels in a second, but why is it so important for you to maintain what you kind of started with the prisons, the nursing homes, the special ed centers? You could easily say, hey, I just don't have time for that anymore. I got bigger things fish to fry. But, from your post online and what you talk about and the videos that you make, it's just like, and this is what I was talking to you outside before the show started, is the energy is all the same. It's not less for any person, and I think that's the true sense of a rock star is, that feeling that you're playing for them, like each person has that connection with you through your music,
Right.
So how do you do that? How the energy is the same?
Yeah. Well, I think I just want to make sure, to keep my feet on the ground, to be humbled, Yeah. It's because it is the thing about that lifestyle in a sense could get to someone's head, and I don't want it to get to mine, right? So.
Have you ever heard Disgraceland?
Disgraceland?
It's a podcast about all the rock stars and about who they truly are.
No.
And like some of these guys have murdered people.
From the title, I guess I know.
Oh yeah, you should listen to like the Rolling Stones and like a whole bunch of them. But yeah, the whole getting to your head, and that's what my main question is, like, how do you go from thousands of people watching you on stage, jamming out to like a fully sold out concert,
right,
to go into the nursing home and still performing your best?
Yeah, well, it's the fun of it all, actually, I guess, because that's fun and that's fun. So they're both fun. So I'm still gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah.
It's funny though. Just the other night, because we played last weekend. We played with Nelly and Jessie J and this Bo
That's
Cash,
awesome.
and just recently we were Lou Graham's band from Foreigner and Dee Schneider from Twisted Sister. We're
That's
playing
awesome.
with him next weekend, and also Rome we're doing Sublime with Rome songs.
Wow.
Yeah, in front of 10,000 people. So, with all of that, what great connections. But guess what? I went out the other night on the street corner and just playing acoustic by myself.
I saw that.
And I was more nervous. You know
Really?
what I mean? So, to me, it's such a thrill. Even a weirder thrill. They're like, oh, I'm going to start singing on the street. I was like, why is he singing? Why do I have to, what is it? You know what I mean? It could be a weird. So it's more like, oh, here I go. I'm going to start singing on the corner, rather than 10,000 people who are all, we love you, we want you to come out, you know what I mean? So that's a weird type of, you think it would be the opposite, but.
There's a Facebook picture, and we'll go into the next hot sauce after this.
Yes, I'm ready for it too.
But there's a Facebook picture of a world famous violinist, and the night before his concert, he played in the subway, and he's a world famous violinist. He's playing in the subway. People walk past him, left and right.
I remember that. Yeah.
The next night, he plays in front of 5,000 people, and all the attention's on him. Do you think the same concept that, value like acquisition, like because they're expecting you have more confidence versus going out on the street corner where you don't have a value essentially associated with you? Because for the average person, because you're not mainstream media, they're like, you're just some guy, and you're like, oh, what does he need or what does he want? Do you think that's part of that?
Right, yeah. You have to prove yourself, buddy.
But do you feel
you
like...
explained what I just said very well.
But do you feel that where you have a certain type of validation in like your performance on a bigger stage than you do out here on the street corner?
Right, exactly. You're right. All right, let's do it. I'm ready for another one.
All right. So Robita's Mild Hot Sauce. This is an award-winning sauce claiming number 2 in the Scovia Awards for prepared sauce category. Delivers a delightful kick without the overpowering dish essence. Crafted and blended with jalapenos, serranos, and long chilies. See, we're going up in the peppers here. Versatile sauce perfect with Mexican and Mediterranean cuisines. All natural ingredients, gluten-free, and free of preservatives.
All right, yep. Very good. And I gotta do more like you. You really lay it on, man.
I just love the sauce.
I'm not because if I see jalapenos, I'm like, not me. But this isn't biting that.
That's the entire point of trying to get these sauces out to the world is the fact that what you just said is, if you saw the ingredients, you probably wouldn't taste it, but because you're tasting it as I'm describing the ingredients, you don't get it until you do. But that is awesome. No, that is perfect. And that's the whole value of this. It's always flavored. So no matter if you're going really hot or very mild, you're going to get the same thing.
Love it.
All right, so let's...
Can we jump to number 3, too?
Let's do another one, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so next one coming up would be the Rubita's Hot Sauce, scale number 3. Right. Authentic flavor made with habaneros, red chili peppers, and serranos. Not overly spicy, allowing you to enjoy its authentic flavor. Great on everything. Versatile for various dishes. Offers a delightful balance of heat and flavor. A hot sauce like no other. And this is going to be your traditional, like your Frank's hot sauce version, good on everything type deal.
That has a bite. It's number 3. Uh-oh. We'll see how this continues.
It does have a bite, but you noticed probably is how slow that heat is coming up.
Yeah.
It's very delayed.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Good stuff. Okay.
So you had mentioned Bret Michaels earlier. So how does one become friends with a superstar like that, and then 2 get invited to go play on all these awesome shows?
Yes. So real quick, because it's not my story, it's Pete Evick's story. But 20 years ago, he's from Manassas, so Bret Michaels was touring through. Some other stuff was going on. Pete was definitely into recording songs. So some management asked him to make a remake of Talk Dirty to Me, so they had some kind of connection. That was for a movie, because they couldn't use the real version, so he did it. But then he opened up for him. His band Evick opened up for Bret Michaels' band, who were a different band at the time, and Bret said, "Hey, I love you guys. I want you to be my band." Blah, blah, blah. 20 years ago, they've been playing forever. So since, and I met Pete about a month before he joined Bret, I believe. Although it goes way back to Dumfries bars and everything. We all played the same bars back in the day, early 90s and stuff. Knew him forever. Started, became a fan of the Evick band, a fan of Bret Michaels' band, going to see, them and keeping that connection. And then as the years went by, I'd open up for Evick, my band. And then one time doing a wedding, Evick was doing a wedding, and he said, "Hey, I need a guitar player. My guitar player can't make it. Who do you think should do it?" And I said, "Well, I think I should do it." He goes, "Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. Let's have you do it." I did the wedding. I learned like 30 songs for the wedding. And so he thought, "Wow, you learned songs quick, man." He just was, after the wedding, he's like, "Man, I think that was great how you played." Thanks. Thought it was done, Great, got to play with Pete. Did a wedding. That was in May of 21. And then in September of 21, I get a call from him. He said, "What do you..." Oh, and this is the story I always tell, because I was going to play Dockside on Friday. No, you might have to cut that out. I was going to play this bar on Friday. night, and I was real excited about it, but I got a call from my booking agent saying, "Hey, the show on Friday is canceled." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Man, they just don't like you. They're just canceling the show."
Wow.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "Wow, okay.
Jeez.
Cool. I ain't no problem." So I hang up the phone with the booking agent, and I just stand there for a second, and I go, "Man, I'm 55 years old, 2 years ago, 55 years old. Why am I still doing this? Just be done. Why? You know what I mean?" And the phone rings. And I look down.
That's always how it works.
And it's Pete Evick. I go, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, what are you doing Friday?" And that's when I thought, oh, he got my agent to call me. He's punking, he's about to say, "I got you. The show's still on." No, but that wasn't it. He said, "Oh, can you be in Oregon Friday to play a show?" I said, "With who?" He goes, "Bret Michaels." I go, "Okay." And then I called my wife, Jen. She said, "Yeah, go do it,"
So, you thought he was punking you, and then you had to really think he was punking you.
Right, yeah,
like a double whammy.
Yeah, when's it coming?
Okay, all right, where's it end, dude?
Right. So yeah, and that was cause, that was COVID. COVID was strong, and Eric Brittingham from Cinderella was the previous bass player, and he thought he had COVID, so he said, "I can't play Friday. I think I have COVID, and I'm going to the doctors. But I'm also I want to just take a break. COVID thing, everything was very in its heyday of that time period. So, and then it was from playing that one show to maybe play out the rest of the year, and everything just went smoother. And I believe Eric just even was like, wow, he toured 35 years. I'm sure he was like, let me now enjoy life also, doing what he's doing. So everything worked out great for everybody. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we've done last summer. It was great. You tell me when to stop talking, by the way. You're ready for the next one.
You keep talking. I like this. I want to, invite the audience to learn as much as we can about you and the journey, because this whole podcast is about the journey. It's the journey that makes you who you are. John Ron is, I think, his name, or Jim Ron. He was like a motivational speaker. He died in like 2019, but one thing he said is, it's not what you get in life that makes you valuable. It's what you become. You know what I mean? And I think that, has a lot of value to it. And the reason we are who we are is those experiences. And that's why, the whole point of what we were talking about earlier about like living in the moment is, because I almost died like in a really bad car accident. And since then, it's kind of like one of those things where, I kind of think in a way I should be dead, because statistics prove I should be dead. So should my entire family.
Right.
And it's kind of one of those things where there's people out there who are miserable, right? Who've never truly lived, that hate life, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's people out there who have lived life and want to share that with others. It's kind of like the person who has cancer and wants to live, and the person that just screws up their life and does drugs and then dies. You know what I mean? Like, you had one person wanting to live, because of a disease, and they can't.
Right.
And you have one other person who doesn't want to, you know what I mean? It's such a weird concept, and the thought that, the amount of time that we're here, and it's like, the Billy Joel song, I really pay attention a lot to lyrics and, like, what the lyrics actually say. Like, even especially, like, when I'm in a situation of feeling or emotion, I tie a lot of what I'm going through to like different lyrics, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And my therapist is actually like, where do you find all these lyrics? And I just listen to a lot of music. And with the Billy Joel song, there's a lyric in Vienna that says, you can get what you want, or you can just get old. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that is a very, very like wise statement, like kind of writing on the wall. And he also says, too bad it's the life you lead. You know what I mean? And I think more people need to understand that, like you were just about to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm too old for this shit. I'm look at me, Then the phone rings. Same with me. I was driving, this is like a couple months ago, right? And Honey had a situation. I had to take her to the vet, and I was like bawling my eyes out. It was just a really bad day for me anyways. And the phone rang, and it was a client who wanted to fly me out to Connecticut, and they did, and it's just one of those things where you're kind of in this balance,
right?
And you can rock forward or you can rock backwards, you know what I mean? And it's up to the universe to decide, like, you're not done yet. Right. You're like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
In fact, here, I'm going to show you, you know?
Each day is a gift, and there's always hope. What I mean? That's the two things, I try to keep in my mind. So,
Well, let's move on to the next sauce real quick, which is the Thai chili. Yes.
That's what I'm excited about.
Now, this is a tantalizing Thai chili sauce made with hand-picked, fresh farm chilies, offering a zesty profile of slidey sweet goodness, providing a delicious departure from your ordinary hot sauce, meticulously crafted with the attention to flavor and texture, a perfect alternative to a discerning palate.
Love it. I knew I would, and I do love it.
Yep, this is Lacey's favorite.
Still a little punch, but not as much as this one in my mind, my opinion. This was real punch, all punch. But because I think, that. Anything Thai, too. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's just so flavorful.
Rita Betas. I love it. Rita Betas. Perfect. Thank you. some tequila coming up. Is that what this is? Tequila?
Yeah, you want to do another one real quick?
Well, if it has something to do with tequila, I wonder if it's just name only. Let's do it. Doubleheader. Tell me about it. Stefan will now tell you about Brady's Tequila Sunrise.
The collaboration with 96.9 The Rock, using sunshine, scorpion peppers, smoked ghost peppers, and agave tequila, balanced with dried cherries, orange juice, for a perfect blend of heat and flavor. Inspired by music and crafted with a touch of creativity, intense heat combo with an enjoyable fruity flavor adds a unique twist to your culinary creations, not corrections.
Culinary creations. Well said. Woo, it's got something going there.
Well, yeah, we are dealing with ghost peppers now.
Yikers, but I'm on, so I made it to number, at least I can say this.
You're not done yet.
5.
That's why I also...
5 of 8.
That's why I also laminate this, so when we get sauce to spill on it, it doesn't get all nasty by the end of the podcast, and you don't hear that paper noise the whole time.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, it definitely is warming up.
Yeah. That's the only one that says Brady's. Who's Brady, I wonder?
Okay. So, what's cool about this particular hot sauce is she did this with 96.9 The Rock, which is a radio station, and the owner, the head manager, can't remember, worked with Rita, and she did like a full like biop of like his flavors, what he likes, all the different things, and she went home, pretty much did her work, and created this. So Rita actually makes all of her own hot sauces in her little professional laboratory. So it's all made here in Fredericksburg. And she does all the canning and everything herself. So, from start to finish, this is definitely her product. And you're going to see that also with the Signal one. That was another collaboration as well. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah. Cool. All right. I'm in. I'm still in.
Yeah, right? It's combining, flavor with personality. And that's what makes it unique. So let's talk a little bit about the people and the influence. Like, when you're at these places, nursing homes, special ed centers, what is it like going in, and then what is it like when you leave?
Yeah. You brought it up. I didn't bring this up earlier, but I went to a couple schools for autistic children or severely disabled. The name escapes me now. What the name of the school is? There's another one in Woodbridge. But anyways, yeah, it's hard. And first you go in again with my guitar. I'm going to back up 1 second even to tell you about the story of why I started going to these schools of autism.
Please. Yeah,
so the person who sold our house that we owned in Woodbridge and got us our house here in Fredericksburg, the great Greg Lydell, such a force of nature that guy was, and I've known him since I was about 9 years old. Didn't see each other much, but I knew he was a realtor, hired him, and at the end of selling our houses, he even did it pro bono. He said, I don't want any money for you. What you do, Norm, for the community, I'm now giving back. I love you and Jen and Abby. So anyways, what a great guy. Anyways, but sadly, that was 3 years ago. So last year, he passed away. So, and he actually committed suicide,
Wow.
So, very hard. And I'll jump ahead at the funeral. I played at the funeral. I played a song that I knew he would love. And then afterwards, everyone went to this pub near the funeral home, and we're all sitting there. People are talking, I just got a drink at the bar, and I'm by myself. I'm looking out, and I'm seeing old friends, because I knew him since I was 9. And I just thought, what good could ever come of him doing this? I felt very heavy.
Yeah,
of course. Nice. And this woman comes up, and she goes, hi, you were great singing that song. I thought that was great. I want you to meet my husband. He owns several autistic schools.
Wow.
So in that 1 second of me like, what good could ever come of this? God put me in with this guy. Started going to the schools. It's been such a great school, such a great guy. He went, when Ukraine war started, he went there. Because he knew the orphanages and kids with autism, the bombs and everything, they were going to need help in having these kids remain calm.
Yeah.
So what a guy. So anyways, you go in, it is sort of weird. What are we, they're acting strange or, but me start singing a song. What's your name? David wants to rock and roll tonight, and then whatever. They start moving, and oh yeah, and I brought other instruments with me. I said, you want to play, have just shakers, tambourine, had a ukulele, just sort of and then, the power of music. We were all laughing, dancing, having so much fun. And the teachers just thought, wow, several times, I can't believe how he's acting. He never opens up, he never talks.
Yeah.
So what that an amazing thing. So if you want to talk about how it is from walking in to leaving, yeah, big difference, that's for sure. Power of music.
Well, and I definitely think there is a power. And I think, in a way, when you come in and trying to kind of change the atmosphere from like probably this very quiet like environment where not a whole lot's going on, there's not a lot of energy, they're just being kind of assisted, and you come in here making all this noise and all this energy. I mean, who wouldn't snap out of a position like that? Another thing that again that we have in common is I used to do Eddie's Club. So when I was younger, I used to coach on a mentally autistic baseball team called the Challengers for Eddie's Club. We go to Virginia Beach each year. It was for the Cubs. That was our team. And then we did Eddie's Club where I would donate my time, and every Sunday we would go for about 3 hours at the school, West Springfield High School, or middle school, which is right next to Empire.
Well, okay.
Which, exactly down Lee Chapel.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Through there, same thing. These kids come in, all quiet, and then now they're playing kickball, or now they're doing puzzles, or now they're playing games, and then the entire personality just comes out.
Right.
It just pops right out. And I think it's a way of getting on their level where it's not about, at least from the outside looking in, even with the homeless thing, it's not about like right or wrong or better or worse or good or bad. It's about the moment that you bring, and I think tying all this back, that's the true sense, is being able to have these moments with these people who typically they don't get to experience with other people. It's kind of like when you drop your kid off and they're like, oh, your kid's so good and he listens so well and he's so interactive, and you're like, No. You haven't seen him at home.
Yeah. Exactly, man. Good stuff.
So where's Norman going next? Where's the big picture? What excites you?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cool stuff with Bret Michaels going on. So like I said, next weekend we're playing in Arizona with Dee Schneider and Rome with Sublime with Rome. We're their backup band, along with playing with Bret Michaels' Poison songs. I've been a Poison fan since high school, so I still remember I worked at the record store and pulling out their first album and learned and talked dirty to me when I was 18. I got a video of me when I'm 18 playing it.
You should bring that.
Right? Yeah.
Show them.
And it melds. Then it changes to me playing with Bret 35 years later or whatever. So that was great. So and then we're going to do a TV show in Nashville. But we're playing every weekend. We're playing with Night Ranger. We're playing with some country artists. We just played with a lot of country artists. Every weekend it's like, where are we going? What cool place? I went to Orlando last weekend. The nicest hotel. We're on the rooftop. Just the band and the crew hanging out, watching the fireworks over at Epcot, kind of thing.
Oh wow, nice.
We played over in the House of the Blues the next day.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, what am I doing here? This is great. This is crazy. But it's a good balance of then gotta go home, family, and just come to the town I love, Fredericksburg, and either get into the history, of course. I love the history of Fredericksburg, or connecting. I have the friends in here. Michael Huntley. Him.
Yeah, we saw him on The Voice.
Right, exactly. So just such a great town here. Hanging out with friends and enjoying life. And then next week, then another weekend comes. Oh, where are we going? Oh, Alabama. Oh, Dallas, Canada. You name it. We've been there. Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Everywhere. We're on like I said, aircraft carrier.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. So everything's just such a blessing and enjoyable. It's tough, it's hard getting up at 3:30 a.m. to be in the lobby to get to the airport to fly somewhere else to then get on in a bus to take it to wherever we're playing again. That's tough, but there's also that aspect of it all.
I think that's
work.
That's the trade-off,
Straight up, right.
And I think that's also something that people don't realize is probably how much work it really takes. People are like, oh, you're just playing on stage. It can't be that hard. But I'm sure there's a lot of logistics behind everything to get to that.
Right.
Where you're actually on stage with people.
Exactly. Yeah, just sit and wait, and or kind of thing. Or I tell you, but the crew is the most amazing thing ever. I hand it to the Bret Michaels crew, or probably any band crew, because they get there in the morning to set up, and they don't leave till late. And an hour after we're done, they're still working. You know what I mean? It's just those guys are great. Kip, Tommy, Tristan, Ryan, and JT, and Bob. They're great. So. But still, us of waiting around, it's hard work, man. No. Hey, I got the best job ever, so I'm not going to complain.
Well, if you had to say one thing that you bring to the table when it comes to touring on the road with all of them, what would you say your aspect is? What do you bring to the table? Obviously, other than just being able to play an instrument.
Right. Well, I hope to be the positive force. I think I am.
I think so, too.
Yeah, and it's great. I am more. Sometimes I'm even more. Well, I also do right after the show. Brett has a charity, Life Rocks charity, so we auction off hat, T-shirts. So I'm the guy auctioneer. We're gonna start on this. I want $100, $200, $300, $400, $10,000 last weekend. A hat.
Wow.
$10,000.
That he took off his head, or it was
the hat he wore, Brett's hat, that he wore
that night
at the show. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, great stuff. But I'm also, and I, go to the merch table. Tell you what, here's another thing how this became such a gift. In that there's a lot of at every show there's somebody in a wheelchair. There's somebody with you can see that some kind of disability. And it's so, and I usually go after the show, go to the merch table, or before the show, I'm walking around. If we have I watch every opening band. I love everything about aspect. So I'm around, I'm meeting people, sort of this ambassador. But for me to say, if you think I'm somebody special, then I'm going to treat you special for these couple minutes right now. You know what I mean? Because if they came out and it's whatever thing they have going on in their life that I know what's going on. A mother whose daughter committed suicide just 3 months before. She was 19, and just having that conversation.
It's so crazy though. And in a way, I feel like it's a great thing that she's out and about, but to just lost your son 3 months ago, and then you're at a concert.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
She said I wasn't gonna come, but at the last second, he said, this her friend said, I got an extra ticket. You need this, and she said, Norm, you made me change today. You know what I mean? She felt so happy that night. Actually, I wrote her a song for her daughter, and I videotaped it and sent it to her.
That's cool.
I want to make her feel like, wow, that you still have hope. Back to the word,
Yeah.
And today is a blessing, of course.
Yeah, and I think that's cool, because wherever you're playing, you don't know what people are going through. One of my favorite quotes on Facebook is, I hope you win the battle, nobody knows you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cool that, obviously, you're just there, to support the band, play, with the band and everything, but you're still have these moments with these people, and I think that's very cool. And then you followed up with a video, I imagine she probably cried when she watched that video.
She said she loved it, yeah.
And she probably never thought that you'd remember her. You know what I mean? And that's that's the thing, where you talked about earlier is how you could easily get too big for yourself, but it seems like you remind yourself to humble yourself, and I think. Yeah. Doing so, one, is part of the longevity of being successful, and two, I think it's the way, I'm a Freemason. I started at the Lodge number 4, and I'm over at John A. Lejeune.
Oh, okay.
And with being a Freemason, it's all about the betterness of mankind. Making another, man better, essentially. And then when you go to a lodge, there's like there's two stones, and they're called ashers, and they sit on the steps of the lodge because you go up, and then that's where the worshipful master sits. And one's, perfectly squared, by the working tools of a mason, and then the other one's, jagged, and it's to represent how we come into life, and we're, in masonry, we're trying to create the perfect squared stone, the living stones, if you will.
Okay.
And in a sense, though, a part of it, which I can't go into, but I can describe it, is understanding other people's lives and perspectives. And I was watching something last night, and it said a lot of times in life, what we do is we perceive the world based on like our ideas, our feelings, or whatever, and the ability to perceive and then I think the other word was forget the other word, but the idea was the fact that it's not just how we see. If we can see how other people see things and be able to see us from like a third person point of view, the better understanding that we have. The problem is when we get so hyper focused in life and success and business, me included, we tend to easily forget all that, and it's all about that moment. And that's what I'm trying to work on myself is, having that, relationship. That's why I stopped and talked to that guy, Kenny, for 30 minutes. I made it a mission not to just be there for like 5 minutes, to really have a conversation.
Yep.
And as we were driving away, he was yelling to Lacey. He's like, "You got a good man." He's like, "I need people like him in my life, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And it's just cool because here you are all over the world, and then here you are in Fredericksburg, just a normal guy again, and you have found such a balance to play both so well.
Well, thanks. That's the goal, right? That is the goal. Yeah, and trying to achieve that and maintain that. Yeah.
So what does that mean for you? Like if you from your younger self to now, what would you say your biggest takeaway from all of this is?
This may sound simple and stupid, but because it's dealing with bands, so my whole life, also starting when I was 13 when I started playing guitar, is don't take things too seriously. So many different bands, they took things too seriously and it broke it up. I've talked to a guy who he knew we were going to make it. We're going to get signed. I've got this label. We got to do that. And I was just like, hey, it's fine, whatever. I don't, whatever, say la vie, whatever. And years later, or I talked to him recently, he goes, you know what, Norman? You live that kind of carefree, don't be stressed out by things, especially with something you love. And I didn't. And now I see that now, years later, and now look at you reaping the rewards of what I always wanted.
Yeah.
So interesting conversation. But don't take things too seriously. Don't let things get you down.
Yeah, no, that's good advice. Hard to remember at times,
right.
But very good advice.
Exactly.
So let's continue on our sauces real quick.
Here we go, number 6.
Which is the Wrath of Rita, right?
Wrath of Rita.
Sensational blend of Carolina Reapers, ghost peppers, habanero peppers, masterfully combined with ripe mangoes, pineapples for a fruity infused heat. Delivers an unforgettable journey to your palate with the perfect balance of intense heat and mouth-watering fruitness. Unleashes the limitless possibilities to a fiery edge to any dish. Down.
I like. I might have to try it again, but that's hot. No. But the mango, pineapple, I'm getting that, and I love that. And I think I can taste the heat because I'm going to do another. Stand back.
Oh, yeah.
No, doing good. At the home stretch here. Woo! Yeah, I still got a woo, though.
Yeah, right?
All right, love it.
So moving forward, talk a little bit about what's next, like next year. Is there anything big in the works for you and anything here in Fredericksburg that's going on?
Yes and yes.
Okay. Even better. All right.
See, I'm meeting with someone tomorrow actually about what should I start with? With Fredericksburg first. Is that Last year, I love the history of Fredericksburg. By the way, Fredericksburg, Revolutionary War. Let alone George Washington, the father of our country. But then 6 other Revolutionary War were generals from Fredericksburg. Hugh Mercer, George Wheaton, and they were all Masons too.
There you go.
Each and every one of them. Yes. So I just love that. I make a lot of videos about the history of Fredericksburg or history of our country, usually Revolutionary War, some Civil War stuff. But anyways, I had this idea where we should have a dramatic performance maybe in Market Square. Lights, sound, maybe even have like a live horse coming, seating, but have I even wrote it up where the town that saved the world, Fredericksburg, because of this is where the revolution started. John Paul Jones, the commander of the Navy, he came here, was on the run for murder. What a story, to have this in a theatrical performance, and everyone went to Whedon's Tavern. Right on the corner, right 1 block from there. It's all these spots, Anyways, I pitched that to the mayor. She said, I love this idea. She goes, and our 250th anniversay is coming up.
Nice.
And a 250th anniversary of our country is coming up in 2026. So I want to get this rolling. It's a slow, bring the different historical organizations together, light company, sound company, kind of thing, you know what I mean? Or Mary Washington, actors, costumes, someone with a horse, I don't know. So, and I'm meeting with someone else who's interested tomorrow. So we'll see where this leads, But I think that'd be so great for the town.
I think that'd be a huge turnout.
Right.
It'd be like they do the parades, they need something like that. That would bring everybody together, raise money, great cause,
right. Yep.
Probably put a little bit of money back in the town's pocket,
right. Yeah. And the love of our country, it's the start of our country. So to me, that's we got to tell that story more. It needs to be told more.
Well, there's so much history here. During COVID, we did the 3D tour of the Gary Milcher Museum and the James Monroe Museum, and it was cool because not only did we do that, but we did video portions. So I really helped them stay in business and keep their facility
every time. Jared was on there.
Yep.
I can't remember his last name. Was his name
James Harrison?
No, I saw that interview, but no, the guy who would do the Facebook Live show.
Oh, no, okay, you're thinking of something different. That's not me.
Oh, okay.
This is where you go to their website and you can manually walk through their museum on your own, and when you click this bubble, the impersonator, James Monroe, will talk to you in that room about what you're seeing, and then you can go walk around at your leisure. You can read everything on the walls. You can look at all the exhibits.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we do that a lot for businesses, but that's the thing is there's just so much history here, and there's so much to do. Me and Lacey have always talked about, going in every single little shop that's on, Princess Anne Street, because there's just so many little businesses and you don't see them all.
Right. No, exactly. It's all great. So yeah, I'm looking to get something going with that, and but then last year we did the Party Gras Tour 23 with Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. He joined our band. We'd play Sugar Ray songs, and Steve Ojari, who used to sing with Journey, so we do Journey songs.
That's awesome.
10,000 people, sold out everything. We played amphitheaters, 20,000 seat amphitheaters, 20,000. It went great. So that's happening in 24, doing the same thing, different artists, I think. Surprise artists, and we're playing with Lou Graham or his backup band in Key West coming up in January. We're doing the Rock Legends Cruise in February.
That's
with
awesome.
Sammy Hagar, Rick Springfield, Billy Gibbons, and ZZ Top. Everything's like, what? That's cool. What? Okay. So it's filling up. I don't know how to. We'll see how it all works out.
You must have earned some serious brownie points from heaven or something. You're like on a stairway to heaven,
I always say I'm blessed, that's for sure. I do say that. And I'm ready for the next one. I need my palate is clear again.
All right. So the next one, we got the Peri Peri.
I love it.
This brings the flavors of Portugal to your palate. The spicy kick of heat is mixed with garlic, fresh lemons, and other flavorful ingredients. African bird-eye chilies as a signature mouth-watering flavor. Perfect for chicken or fish dishes. offers a combination of sunshine, warmth, and mouth-watering flavors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to find a bad sauce here.
Right. Because, it's you going in.
Oh,
All
yeah.
in. Boom.
Saturated.
Pour it. No, and not too hot. I'm trying to think now which the hot. I think maybe the second. No, it was the third one. So far for me. Although Brady's. That one, I love it. Had a good taste.
Yeah. And I just love the flavor. That's what the crazy thing is, and that's what you always taste first, whether it's the tequila or the chili,
Yeah.
It's all packed in there.
Yeah.
So now what I do, hold on for a second. So now what I do is, we're getting to the last one, is I have this tribute to Larry King. So I'm a big Larry King fan. And
Awesome.
Larry King had this segment called If You Only Knew. And it's a series of questions. You're supposed to answer them from the heart.
All right.
And we'll go through each one. And then on the middle, we'll stop. We'll go to the signal one, eat that, and then we'll continue on. And that'll be our podcast for today.
Perfect. By the way, Larry Bird, we played in French Lick, Indiana. And that's his town where he grew up in.
Wow.
Small town, but it has a casino. No, it was a super casino, but a hotel from 1882 that we played at. Again, how cool is that? Kind of thing. But he was from that town, and I guess just French Lick, Indiana. That's the name of the town, French Lick.
French Lick.
Unless that was the name of the hotel. Yeah. All right, hit me.
All right. The person you would trade places with for a day.
The Marquis de Lafayette.
What's that?
Lafayette, he's the Frenchman who came over from France at 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
3 months. He didn't even speak. He was just, I love this cause so much. And he was friends with the king of France.
Lucky.
Yeah. Because he was one of the richest single guy because his parents died at a young age and all the money went to him. He lived at Versailles, but he heard about this cause in this country and came over, met up with George Washington right away and said, I don't even want to get paid, but it's such a young age, 18, 19, 20. The general, like 22, 23 years old here in the war. And also there at the very, anyways, that's who I say. Because then I read his book too, whole autobiography. Had to deal with it. Went back to France afterwards with French Revolution. And then that took over, and he got thrown in prison for like 7 years.
Uh-oh.
His wife and daughters stayed in prison with him during that time. He got almost sick, almost died, blah, blah, blah. Came
That's
back.
love.
Yeah. And then came back to America in 1826. We're talking 1776. He's here, 1781. Comes back in 1826 at like 78 years old. Comes through Fredericksburg. Just amazing. Saw Thomas Jefferson again right before he died. And there was one story, a real quick story, by the way. There was a slave who was a spy. He would work for the British, but come back and tell Lafayette what they were thinking. This is around Yorktown area. So that's how Lafayette got the information, what's going to happen, He left, said that he should be free. And so he was free. Took a while, because then Lafayette left, but he stopped, he was going through the part of Yorktown. He stopped the carriage and got out, because he saw that same man. And remembered him and got out, shook him, gave him a hug, everything. That kind of thing. You're like, that should be a movie. That's
interesting.
Movie.
What did he go to jail for?
Because of the French Revolution. What was he? The aristocracy. He was the, because King spent all the money on himself and all the rich people. You don't need to pay taxes. Only the poor pay taxes.
Right. That's still true today.
right? So Marquis was up there. So it was very political fighting. Napoleon saved him from death, funnily enough, crazily enough, or whatever, even though they didn't get along either, too. It's something, crazy stories. Anyways,
that's awesome.
We better, because if I take that long with one question.
All right.
Let's do it.
The biggest risk you ever took?
Biggest risk I ever took. You know what? I'm not a risk taker. I can't say, Sometimes, it's not really a risk, but I remember the first night I went to Oregon, first night with Brett at this nice casino. Everything's and someone bought me a drink. Brett's cousin Bob bought me a drink, and we talked for a while about stuff. And everyone went sort of. I stood there at the bar by myself. I said, I think my life is changing right tonight. It's the first night of a new aspect. And it's been 3 years now, and it has. I don't know if that was a risk. I think everyone would take that risk, so I don't know if that's the right answer.
Well, you must play music pretty good to be invited back for 3 years straight.
Glad.
Guilty pleasure.
I don't know. I knew I would not be good at something like this. Family, we love watching like The Middle. My daughter loves watching The Middle. We love together. That's our connection, is watching Survivor and Amazing Race.
Nice.
And and we love talking about it. And that's why I've done a couple of fake TV shows for Facebook where we did the band was stuck on an island together.
Yeah, I've seen your duo videos where you guys are traveling or you guys are all posted up doing some stuff. You guys look like you have a lot of fun together.
Love it all. Yeah, I love making videos out of the different fun things in life.
All right. The best compliment you ever got?
And it's just how... Because I get a lot. How you have such a big heart, Norm. I don't want there's a special place for you in heaven. That's not, I don't know. It's not a works kind of thing. I do it for the love. And but I get it a lot. So I got to be, that's again, try to be humble in that area. So it's just, I take.
You walk a fine line.
Yeah, I
can go both ways, folks.
I read, and everyone knows. I read everything. Everyone comments on these posts I do, and I reply back on everyone, because if they took the time to comment on something, I take the time to say thank you so much for what you said. So anyways,
that's awesome. All right, so now we're going to Signal 1.
All right.
A collaboration between Always Flavored and Maltese Brewing Company. Blends extremely hot peppers with Carolina Reapers, smoked ghost peppers, and mango habanero flakes, packed with a serious heat and balanced sweety fruitness. Takes the world-famous hot pepper beer to the next level. A sauce that brings the heat challenge to your taste buds.
Okay. I even had a little drip go down, so I put a amount that I could taste.
All right.
The lovers of hotness will love that.
It is delicious.
Yeah, it's got the kick, but it has the taste.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't kill me either. No, look, I did it. I didn't think I would do it. Woo!
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is a lot of people come on the show and they're like, I don't think we're gonna be able to make it all the way, but I'll do what I can. And nobody has not made it all the way, and that's the value and what Always Flavored brings to you is you can go all the way up. All right.
Love it.
What never fails to make you laugh?
The Office. I don't know. I don't know. I get if someone tells me a joke or story, I don't know. It's am I supposed to say movie or show? But if I have everything makes me laugh.
Well, you're just full of life anyways, so I can't imagine a day where you don't smile that much.
Right, exactly. Every day's a gift.
All right. The worst piece of advice you ever got?
From my mom, hate to say it, don't you want to play harmonica instead of guitar? Don't you want a harmonica? You don't want a guitar, do you?
That's funny.
Luckily, I didn't follow it. So, no, I want a guitar.
There's only one John Popper.
Right.
Okay, that's awesome. And the last one. Right. Something you wish you were better at.
Being a runner? I don't know. My knees have given out, or it's funny. It's funny. I connect with people a lot, but I don't connect with sort of peers, people my own age sometimes. Or parents or something. Where I'm supposed to act maybe different kind of way.
More professional.
More professional.
Dumbed down.
Right. Professional scene, which I do that stuff though. I work for the Marine Corps. Didn't even get into that. My day job is with the Marine Corps at Quantico, Virginia. So I deal with that environment, and I like it, I should say, right? I've passed that point. I used to not be able to connect with people sometimes, but that's not the case anymore. So.
Man, that's awesome. No, it's all about finding your way and, being unique. I was thinking too, you shouldn't dumb down who you are. You know, if you're full of energy, you're supposed to be full of energy. You know, my whole life, you know, I'm very ADHD, you know, all over the place from time to time. And like my dad, who I love very much, and I have a great relationship with, but he's always been very skeptical of my life and choices and everything. Because to him, I live a very risky life, business owner, entrepreneur, you know, taking everything on myself, blah, blah, blah. And even with him, he's like, you know, you should, you know, be calm around certain people. And I'm like, I'm just going to be me.
Right.
You know, and if you don't like me, then it's probably best that we just don't work together. Because, you know, you're going to get what you get. You know what I mean?
You got one chance to go through this.
Yeah.
And do it the way you want it to be done, man.
And the value is not how the person acts. It's what they bring to the table. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's kind of the value of, you know, and that's why I like music, and the expression of it is you could be, you know, a metalhead and still have value within your music, your lyrics, your audiences, you know, all of that. Or you could be a country singer and still have the same thing. You know, it's all inside. You know, it's what comes out, and I think that's the biggest thing, and truly what makes us different. You know, because without that internal flame, without that internal energy, there's no excitement. There's no life. Like Nelson Mandela says, "There's no passion in playing small."
There you go.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, Norman. I really appreciate you coming on here, chatting us up, you know, telling us about everything. Yeah, I'm going to have you play a quick song here, and I'll transition the camera and everything. But this has been awesome. So, guys,
thank you, man, for having me. Loved it.
We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the song.
As I walk through this life, trying to find my way, for me to be reconciled. Then I ask myself, what's my purpose here? What do I hold so dear? Giving love, giving hope, showing that not alone, yes, we're in this together. There's nothing that can hold us back. Sharing pain, praying hands, sacrifice, all of man. Yes, we're in this together. Just reach out your hand. La la la. La la la, la la la, la la la, in this together. So just reach out your hand. Yeah.
Thank you, Stefan.